Everybody's so quiet. All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Todd Krause. I'm the chair of chemistry. And in lieu of a procession this year, I think we're going to introduce you to our graduates with a slideshow. Hit it.
Chasing down everything
Tech, are we ready? We're good? All right. I feel like we're in a Zoom meeting or something. We're like, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Is my screen shared? Is it shared? All right. Well, greetings, members of the class of 2021, parents, spouses, families, and friends of the graduates, members of the faculty and staff, and those in person and those on the live stream. Welcome to the chemistry department graduate ceremony for 2021, hybrid and in person. I guess you would call it real and virtual. I want to say a few words reflecting on the experiences of our graduates in their greater than, I guess it was like, it's not 4 years, right? It's greater than 3 and less than 4 is how I would describe how your experience is here. So first and foremost, I do want to say to everybody here and on the live stream that I hope that you and your loved ones are well and continue to be so during these really crazy, unprecedented times. Graduates, you know, when you arrived in Rochester back in the fall of, I think it was 2017, right? I see heads nodding. That's good. I'm pretty sure you were thinking that the highlight, or maybe it was the low light of your junior year, would not be being sent home, right? In the middle of a global pandemic as a virus spreads throughout the world. So nor did you imagine that in your senior year, you would be confined to your dorm room pretty much, right? Or apartment for like weeks on end, having your food delivered to you upon your internet command and attending lectures asynchronously on Blackboard at 3 p.m. on Thursday in your pajamas from your bed. Hey, wait a second, this doesn't sound half bad, right? I mean, there could be better things, right? So, hey, I was glad, and we were glad that despite all the uncertainty and difficulties, rules and regulations, we were able to give the vast majority of you seniors a robust educational experience this year, right? For it is that we think that experiential learning and partnership with the faculty that really defines a kind of chemistry and physical science education in general, and especially here at the University of Rochester. So, you know, although we all can't be here in person, we still wanted to honor and celebrate those candidates who will be receiving the Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science degrees in chemistry. Our highest degree, Doctor of Philosophy, was awarded yesterday, and the master's degrees were awarded like about an hour and 5 minutes ago at a separate ceremony. So if you could attend both of those, you must be an expert in quantum mechanics. This is a special day for you graduates, not just for you, but also for us faculty, right? Because one of the distinguishing characteristics, as we hope you will find out, about the Department of Chemistry at Rochester is our relationship with and our pride in our chemistry alumni. And I've met many of them in my time as chair, and we have developed over the years a very passionate alumni network, which we hope that you will be a part of. So today, graduates, congratulations, you make the transition from students to alumni. Now, graduates, by all account, you have handled this unprecedented educational adversity, is probably the best way to describe it, with really distinction and excellence, right? That we honestly expect from our chemistry majors at Rochester. So class of 2021, I want to take a moment to reflect on your hard work, the trials and tribulations you've gone through, and you should be pleased with what you have accomplished these 3+4 roughly years. Despite all the potential obstacles and roadblocks that have been thrown up in your way, you are leaving with your degrees, right? Maybe finally, but leaving with your degrees, and that should be gratifying. I mean, look, what is a little masking and social distancing, right? When you've got that 234 lab report due in like 2 hours and you haven't started it yet or something. I mean, I see from the smiles behind your mask that you've been there, right? So as the great philosopher and Hall of Famer, legendary Yankee catcher Yogi Berra said, it ain't over till it's over. Well, I think at this point, class of 2021, in a large sense, it's over, right? It's over. So all of us affiliated with the chemistry department, we want to congratulate you. Sincere congratulations. We salute what you've accomplished. We have the best hopes for your future. Now, thinking back, almost a year ago in the summer of 2020, as we were deciding how to deliver instruction for the fall, we were unsure just how many undergraduates would want to come back, right? And live in a relatively kind of crowded communal setting of a college campus. I'm happy to say that the vast majority of undergraduate students did come back. Those who were allowed to travel did return to Rochester. And, while one driving factor may have been a young adult's strong desire to leave their parents again. I see heads nodding. All right. Parents, don't catch that on the Zoom, but I'd actually like to think it was more the positive experiences, right? The pull from Rochester to bring you back. And someday you'll reflect on those positive experiences, right? Like when you entered Hutch for the first time, your first chemistry class, right? I still, honestly, this is no joke. I still remember my first college class and who taught it. Perhaps you remember your first workshop leader or TA experience, right? Or your now BFF lab partner who got you through that 234 lab report that you had due. Or maybe your favorite chemistry professor, right? Or maybe you just liked the weather in Rochester. I don't know, and it brought you back. I mean, like 3 weeks ago, it was snowing for the whole week, right? And like freezing. That's Rochester. So anyway, either way, we hope that your time here was transformative and transforming for you. So I also want to mention that figuring prominently in the success that we're all sharing today are the chemistry faculty, instructors, mentors, advisors, and staff. Chemistry faculty, some of whom are off camera sitting over here, are first and foremost teacher scholars who really are dedicated to teaching and imparting their knowledge and skills to the students. The relationship between faculty and students at Rochester is quite unique. It is long lasting, as I hope you will see, and it will shape what you do for a lot of your lives. So I want to take this opportunity to introduce our faculty who are here today, either in person or on the live stream. So those attending in person, normally we would have you stand up, but no one can see you. Maybe you want to wave to the seniors or something like that. So anyway, Allison Frontier, there you go, Peng Fei Hu, Bill Jones, Rose Kennedy, Catherine Knowles, Dave McHammett, Brad Nielsen, Shauna Paradine, and Louis Rothberg. Attending remotely are professors Cara Bren, somewhere out there behind the blue screen, Rudy Fassan, Ellen Matson, and Udo Schroeder. So I want to speak on behalf of all the faculty that it really has been an honor and a pleasure to have worked with you all, right? Like it or not, you're some of the best and brightest students in the country, in the classroom and in the laboratory, so it's been a great pleasure working with you, right? As we learned early on in general chemistry, unlike a reaction with a very large equilibrium constant, right? That all goes one way, just goes right to completion. Teaching here at Rochester is bidirectional, so not only is knowledge flows from the faculty to the student, but also vice versa. So, on behalf of all the faculty, thank you for enriching our lives these last few years and teaching us some things as well. So, no surprise, graduates, one of the defining characteristics of your undergraduate education here is the Rochester curriculum, right? And so, you've got your majors in chemistry, maybe another major, maybe a minor, you got your interdisciplinary clusters. However, what have you really learned here? Let's think about that for a minute, right? It's not a trivial question, right? I mean, one of the great scientists in all of history, Albert Einstein, was quoted as saying, "The only thing that interferes with my learning is my education," right? So what have you learned here, really? I mean, forgetting about the formal stuff, right? Forgetting about like the intricate details of how to solve the Schrodinger's equation for a particle in a box, or what is the point group of some, molecule like a buckyball or whatever that they give you in 211 or something like that, right? I mean, maybe you flushed all this stuff from your memory already. You're like, I'm gone. I don't want to hear about that anymore. But like, what have you really learned? What have we taught you here? Well, at its most fundamental, right? The chemistry degree is teaching you to be critically and analytically thinkers, right? Critical and analytical thought. That's really what a chemistry degree is. And what better time to use that, right? The current public health crisis, I think, somewhat regrettably, but has crystallized the importance of critical thinking and problem solving as skills of not only today, but of the future. So, I was just reflecting on the ways in which critical analytical thinking intersected chemistry and how that intersected the pandemic, right? So for example, viruses, right? They're identified by their sequence of nucleic acids. Okay, and it's for the coronavirus, it's the particular sequence of RNA, right? Ribonucleic acids that identify the virus. Well, the genome for COVID-19 was sequenced well over a year ago. It was January 2020 when they actually sequenced the RNA of COVID. And those sequencing procedures were developed by two chemists, Frederick Sanger and Walter Gilbert. Now, they were developed in 1980, and they won the Nobel Prize for it, right? But this, like, so initially we knew this about this virus thanks to chemists. The most popular test, maybe some of you have had the pleasure of experiencing a COVID test, right? Having something shoved deep up your nose into your brain. But that works by identifying this RNA in the virus, okay? And so to grow up the RNA and amplify it so they can detect it, they use a technique called polymerase chain reaction, or PCR. PCR was developed by Kary Mullis in 1993, got the Nobel Prize for it, right? So again, chemists are really intersecting our lives today globally, everywhere. And finally, this spike protein, this thing that binds to your cells, right? It's on the outside of the virus. The spike protein was actually crystallized in February 2020, like right at the beginning of this thing, using methods developed by chemists. John Kendrew and Max Perens, who won the Nobel Prize in chemistry in 1962, actually, for protein crystallization. So, and finally, Pfizer, Moderna, maybe some of you had shots in the arms from, I see a lot of heads. All right, good, right? So they were able to develop a vaccine, record time, 12 months, right? Brand new technology of delivering the messenger RNA to your cells, and based on this spike protein. Now, forget about the chemistry and biochemistry that gives you the immunity, but like all of that, right? The development of that vaccine is chemistry. So, chemistry is really in the forefront today, but the COVID's going to go away. Maybe it'll, depending on the CDC, it could be 6 months or 6 days. I don't know what they're thinking, but, eventually it will go away. And then we have to get back to the other problems that the Earth has, right? Like powering the planet for generations while maintaining a clean atmosphere, producing goods and services sustainably, clean drinking water, developing nations. Maybe cheaper and more affordable healthcare, right? These are problems that haven't gone away. They're still there. And so they're going to need someone who's critically and analytically trained. So that's all you all now, right? Someone with a chemistry degree. So, regardless of where you end up in the near term or beyond, I want to say that, your future, our future, our all future, it's up to you now, right? I don't know what generation we're up to, double Z, I don't know, whatever you are, but it's in your hands, right? And this may be scary for you, right? I could see Professor McCammett looks a little worried. They got this, Professor McCammett. It's all right, so it's a little scary for us, but like, you may be familiar with the proverb. It's an old English proverb, actually. Necessity is the mother of invention. Well, the converse is even more important, right? Invention is the mother of necessity, right? I mean, who would think 18 months ago that we would absolutely need to have chemistry involved every day in our daily lives so we could beat this virus? So the most challenging and important problems that you will face, we don't even know what exists yet, right? We don't know what those are. So how can we solve them yet? But we need someone who knows how to solve problems, and that really is you. So graduates, I want to close by quoting Dr. Seuss, who not yet canceled, right? So anyway, graduates, look, congratulations, actually. Today is your day. You're off to great places. You are off and away. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, and you can steer yourself any direction you choose. Hey, congratulations and best of luck, graduates. Congratulations, class of 2021. All right, Professor McCammett, if you would come on up and help award the degrees and first the chemistry awards.
Okay, I am Professor David McCammett. I'm the chair of undergraduate studies program. And for this section of the program, we're going to be announcing and providing awards for some of our most outstanding graduates this year. The first award goes to Dalton Hanaway. This is the 2021 Dr. E. W. and Maud V. Flagg Award. This award, where's Dalton?
Yeah, come on up.
This award, established in 1982 as an endowed fund by Dr. John J. Flagg, 36, recognizes outstanding performance and promise in chemistry by an undergraduate student. A faculty committee appointed by the chair of the Department of Chemistry selects the recipient. This award consists of a cash prize as well as a certificate of recognition from the department. Okay. Next, we have the 2021 John McCreary Memorial Prize, which we have two awardees, Justine Drapeau and Jacob Schmidt. The John McCreary Memorial Fund was established in 1985 in tribute to the high academic and scientific standards and to the personal dedication of John James McCreary, who received his Bachelor of Science degree in chemistry with high distinction from the University of Rochester in 1975. John's career maintained its exemplary character until his death in 1983. This award consists of a cash prize along with a certificate of recognition from our department, and this year was awarded to these two outstanding undergraduates. Next, we have the 2021 ACS Outstanding Achievement in Chemistry Award from the Rochester section of the American Chemical Society. This award goes to Alphonse Pineda Nausider, who is remote, by the way. This award is given to a senior with an outstanding academic record and consists of a cash prize, recognition at a special luncheon held during the ACS annual undergraduate research symposium in the spring, and the inclusion of the awardee's name on a plaque that is displayed in the department. Congratulations, Alphonse. Is he out there? Hey. The 2021 ACS Inorganic Chemistry Award goes to Sarah Craig. This award is given to a student who is selected by the faculty on the basis of outstanding academic achievement in inorganic chemistry. The award consists of a cash prize, certificate of recognition from our department, and listing on the ACS website. The 2021 ACS Organic Chemistry Award goes to Catherine Suh. This award, Catherine. This award is given to a student who is selected by the faculty on the basis of outstanding academic achievement in organic chemistry. The award consists of a cash prize, certificate of recognition from our department, and listing on the ACS website. The 2021 ACS Physical Chemistry Award goes to Matt DiLorenzo, who's participating virtually. This award is given to a student who is selected by the faculty on the basis of outstanding achievement in physical chemistry and to encourage further pursuits in the field. The award consists of a cash prize, certificate of recognition from our department, and a listing on the ACS website. Congratulations, Matt. The 2021 ACS Analytical Chemistry Award goes to Jacob Schmidt. This award is given to a student who is selected by the faculty on the basis of outstanding academic achievement in analytical chemistry. The award consists of a cash prize, certificate of recognition, and listing on the ACS website. The 2021 Carl A. Whiteman Jr. Teaching Awards go to two outstanding students that have been great TAs over the years. This is Sarah Craig and Noel Peluso. This award recognizes exemplary teaching by an undergraduate student in the Department of Chemistry. Carl Whiteman graduated from the University of Rochester in 1950 with a BS in physics and continuously worked in the chemistry department until his retirement in 1986. His enthusiasm and dedication to laboratory teaching made him a legendary figure among undergraduate chemistry majors. Carl continued his association with us until his death in 2007. This honor recognizes Carl's teaching excellence as well as that of the recipients who receive a cash award along with a certificate of recognition from the department. We are pleased to present this award to Sarah and Noel. The 2021 Chemistry Department Award goes to a collection of outstanding students that have really excelled in a variety of different areas across the department. This is Timur Sinai, Noel Peluso, Jade Johnson, and Hannah Roberts. Hannah is participating remotely. The annual Chemistry Department Award is given to seniors in recognition of outstanding scholarship in the field of chemistry and consists of a cash prize and a certificate of recognition from our department. We are happy to award 4 outstanding recipients this year. Next, I'd like to present several awards. Oh, and where'd Hannah go? Did we get Hannah? Was Hannah on the screen? Where'd she go? Oh, well, we missed her. I missed her. Hopefully she got it. Okay, we're changing gears to actually present a few awards that came from the college rather than the chemistry department. The first is the 2021 Janet Howell Clark Prize, which went to 2 chemistry seniors this year, Catherine Suh and Evelyn Matai. Congratulations. The Janet Howell Clark Prize is awarded annually to a senior woman who has shown the greatest promise in creative work in one of the following fields: physics, chemistry, biology, or astronomy, and has shown outstanding versatility in the mastery of allied fields. Selection is based on recognitions by the respective departments, which are evaluated by a committee appointed by the dean of the college. The award consists of a cash prize and recognition at a special senior ceremony. Also like to recognize the 2021 John R. Slater Memorial Prize, which went to Caleb Preuss. The John R. Slater Memorial Prize is awarded annually to a member of the senior class who has shown the most competence in the use of the English language, as exemplified by excellence in composition, public speaking, and work on university publications, and participation in student government or otherwise. And we all know that otherwise is lab reports. We're happy to recognize an outstanding recipient this year. Okay. That's it. Todd, do you want to say anything about the PhD and master students?
No, let's go ahead.
Okay. All right, let's have another round of applause for all the awardees for all the hard work that they put in over the years. For the next part of the ceremony, we'd like to actually honor all of our graduates and present them with their diplomas. First, we'll be doing the Bachelor of Arts degrees. Having been duly admitted to the degree for which they have been recommended, the faculty of the Department of Chemistry hereby confer Bachelor of Arts degrees to the following individuals. Yi Bu, who is participating virtually. We'll also hear from faculty who worked with these students.
All right. Let me first congratulate Yi as well as the class of 2021 for your amazing achievements in such an unusual time in history. I got an honor to know Yi in my 252 physical chemistry class, which many of you know. It's a very challenging class conducted in 2020, which is an unusual and challenging time as well. Yi and the class of 2021 actually were extremely courageous, taking this challenge very, very seriously and dedicated their time and efforts attending lectures, asking me really, really hard, tough, but profound questions, which ultimately leads to our learning achievements. And this dedication continues all the way towards to the remote learning after the outbreak of the pandemic. And Yi and I certainly had a lot of fun drawing equations on Zoom. For the first time, I learned a lot from you guys for that as well. I can probably say some of you, and Yi definitely included, after the class, eventually fall in love with the partition function and entropy. And I hope you keep this passion forward. After graduation, Yi will use his chemistry knowledge learned from Rochester to solve some real world problem, as he will become a research and development associate scientist in P&G. So let me congratulate Yi again, as well as class of 2021. We are very proud of your accomplishments, and we wish you the best for your future endeavor. All right, thank you.
Next is Clara Hope Simpson. Oh. So Clara juggled a lot in her undergraduate career in order to excel as a concert cellist, obtain a bachelor's degree in applied music from the Eastman School of Music, complete her minor in French, and most importantly, complete her BA in chemistry. Congratulations on that part. I initially got to know Clara actually because of the special system we had to put together to allow her to complete her general chemistry exams, which started in Hubble Auditorium at 7:30 a.m., which was before the very first bus from Eastman actually arrived on campus. Later, we worked together to come up with plans on how to complete the chemistry degree while doing a semester in Europe. But of course, those plans were tossed out the window in the pandemic. Next year, Clara will be pursuing her Masters of Performance degree at the Royal Northern College of Music in England, where she'll finally have a chance to take all that British analytical chemistry that we'd planned on. Congratulations, Clara. Evelyn Matai, graduating with distinction and cum laude.
So it's my pleasure to talk about Evelyn today. She is a student of distinction. She has the distinction that she was one of only 3 students to take Chem 234 with me this past semester, completely virtually. Now, this lab involves working with vacuum lines, liquid nitrogen, dry ice, the works. And Evelyn had to learn how to do this by looking at videos that we recorded with the TAs, doing all the experiments, as if she were standing there right there in the lab, recording in her lab notebook what went on. And then from that, she had to produce a lab report. And as you know, there are 4 required for this course. They're rather involved, and she did a superb job with all of this. So I was really delighted to see how well a student could do remotely. So congratulations on your diploma.
Caleb Preuss, who's graduating with highest distinction and magna cum laude. As you may already know, Caleb is an excellent writer because he's completing a BA in English this year as well as the BA in chemistry. I can add that he's also a great scientific writer from his excellent work in Chem 231, which is my upper level laboratory course that Caleb took last year. As all the faculty know, Caleb is a really fun student to have in class. He brings wit and camaraderie to all of his courses. He will continue to balance the humanities and sciences moving forward as he completes a master's degree in medieval English at Oxford next year, and before coming back to Rochester for medical school. Congratulations, Caleb. We have Hannah Roberts, who's participating virtually. She's graduating with high distinction.
So Hannah did research in my lab for about 2 years, starting at the end of her sophomore year. the summer of 2019. She picked up a project from another undergraduate that was kind of a new direction for our lab, using some copper nanoparticles to do some cross-coupling catalysis. And she worked for a few weeks in the summer until her advisor became suddenly and unexpectedly unavailable upon the premature birth of her son, sorry. But I came back in August for the end of summer poster session and was really pleasantly surprised at how much Hannah was able to accomplish, pretty much being self-directed. And I was really looking forward to having her in the lab during the year. So she did some great work in fall of 2020 or fall of 2019, and then went to England in spring of 2020 to study abroad, which again was cut short unexpectedly. And I haven't seen her in person since, and she finished up remotely. But she wrote a nice thesis on some literature review of other work using nanoparticles in cross-coupling catalysis that will be a really helpful resource for our lab moving forward. And so she, moving on after graduating, I think she's planning to enter the workforce and still thinking about graduate school, maybe, hopefully. And with that, congratulations, Hannah. Very well deserved.
Joshua Rosario, who's graduating with highest distinction and cum laude. It was an honor to teach Joshua way back in general chemistry in the spring of 2018. He was a great student and a fun person to have in class, showing an honest interest in the field and especially in the connections between medicine and chemistry. Professor Heffensteiner and I delivered a 1-2 punch in Chem 131 and 132 that year that knocked the BME out of him and pulled him into the chemistry major. He did so well in these courses that we were happy when he could join the team the following year as a workshop leader for Professor Rothberg. Joshua is a caring individual that is committed to helping those around him. This has been expressed in his numerous extracurricular activities around campus, in his work in the medical school and pediatric asthma research, in the work he'll be doing next year at Johns Hopkins, and in his pursuit of a medical degree after that. He's one of those students that I'd be happy to have as my own physician. Congratulations, Joshua. Typhoon Sahin. Typhoon has impressively managed to complete the BA degrees in both chemistry and political science, as well as his BS in chemical engineering. As if that wasn't enough, this year he participated in the Take 5 program to study semantics, logic, and language. I expect that he should be able to finish all the other degrees offered by the university if we give him one more year. But I enjoyed having Typhoon in my own lab course and wish him well in all his future endeavors. Congratulations, Typhoon. Catherine Suh.
So Catherine has been in my lab from just about the beginning, about one semester in. And when I first met with her as a first semester sophomore and asked her as a chemistry biology dual major, what her interests were, she said, well, she was probably going to pursue a career in biology, but she really wanted to do research in chemistry because she really appreciated that she thought it would be a better challenge. And as someone who has always been driven by good challenges myself, she pretty much had me sold there. And in the 2.5 years that she's been in my lab, it's been an incredible pleasure to watch her grow, watch her confidence grow into the incredible talent that she has. And she's become a really central feature in our group, both, as a scientist and, in, and as a lab citizen. As I guess I also have a secret pleasure that over the 2.5 years, she's also come to the realization that she preferred pursuing a career in organic synthesis over biology, which of course is the correct opinion. And so, on behalf of the entire Paradigm Lab, I know we're going to miss you a lot, Catherine, and we're so proud of you, and huge congratulations, and excited to see your next endeavors. One more. I just want to hold it up. You want me? There you go. Wait 1 second.
Wang Jiwei William. And William's diploma will be presented by Cara Bren, who's participating virtually.
I had the pleasure of meeting William during my biological chemistry course. So he was a student who was really engaged in the material. He would stay after class to ask me additional questions and chat with me about the material, which I really appreciated. So I was really happy when he asked to do independent study in my lab. He did 2 semesters of independent study, developing a catalyst for turning pollutants in water into useful chemicals and fuels. With the restrictions of COVID, he was able to turn that then into a literature project and developed a really nice roadmap for our group to take some of that work into different directions. So William, I know you're going to be very successful going forward. We really will miss you a lot in the lab. Congratulations.
And we're going to switch to our Bachelor of Science degrees. For those of you that are viewing virtually, you might not realize that the Bachelor of Science degree, we've really taught these students everything we have to offer. We're now done. We don't know anything else that we haven't tried at least to teach them. Having been duly admitted to the degree for which they have been recommended, the faculty of the Department of Chemistry hereby confers the Bachelor of Science degrees to the following individuals. Asha Bibi Ahmed. Asha Bibi's diploma will be presented by Ellen Matson, who's participating virtually.
So I had the pleasure of having Bibi do his senior thesis research in my laboratory over the past year. Bibi did a really wonderful job of merging and blending the virtual and then finally in-person components of research, picking up really quickly cluster synthesis and studying some really neat cation interactions on the electrochemistry of these compounds. And so Bibi, we're really proud of you. Congratulations on this accomplishment, and we wish you the best of luck moving forward.
Timur Sinai, who's graduating with highest distinction and magna cum laude. So I first met Timur in my Chem 231 class back in the fall of 2019 when he was one of the top students there. I was impressed not only with his strong understanding of the chemistry, but also his strong scientific writing. Timur did so well in the course, I was really happy to have him back as a teaching assistant in the following year. But as you know, in the fall of 2020, this was a really tough year to be a TA. In Chem 231, I could count on Timur to juggle all the responsibilities of running the lab during the pandemic, including keeping everyone safe from both the regular chemistry hazards and COVID-19. All while teaching students the correct theory and techniques, of course. Timur also joined my lab to do his senior research and has been doing outstanding work developing a technique to measure the precise amount of light absorbed by molecules used in photochemical water splitting studies, His work will allow us to calculate the efficiencies of these systems in producing a fuel from solar-driven chemical reactions. In our weekly meetings, I was consistently surprised by how much Timur had accomplished, and that's really saying something considering how hard it was to do hands-on research this year. Week after week, Timur came to me with new results, having pushed his experiments along and thought through what needs to happen next. I think that these quantitative skills will come in handy in Timur's future graduate studies in climate science at MIT. Congratulations, Timur. Sarah Craig, who's graduating with high distinction.
So over the last 2 years, I've had the great pleasure of getting to know Sarah as a undergraduate researcher in my group. She was amongst the very first students to join my lab when I started here in January 2020, and has been indispensable in launching our program. She's taken the lead on 2 of our projects, which contributed to her senior thesis. So a ligand design project for the development of new catalysts, as well as using a weak magnetic field to alter polymerization reactions. So she's been a star in the lab and has also made amazing contributions to the department through her teaching, which you've heard about already, through her role as a peer advisor, and also as the vice president of the undergraduate chemistry committee. So she's a star in all aspects. She's also a star with musical theater and a leader in Off-Broadway on campus. So that has been a lot of fun to hear about as well. So Sarah will be pursuing her PhD studies in chemistry at the University of Pittsburgh in the fall, and we are definitely going to miss her. So congratulations, Sarah, on all of your accomplishments.
Matt DiLorenzo, who's participating virtually, graduates with highest distinction.
So Matt actually started his college in Ithaca, but he made the decision to move his direction, transfer to Rochester. I think that's a definitely wise decision. I got the honor to know Matt in my 252 physical chemistry class, as well as my graduate level theoretical chemistry class. Both are very challenging classes, but Matt is really the top students in both classes. Matt has actually started his research with Professor Todd Cross, where he synthesized colloid nanocrystal that I believe some part of those crystals maybe even made to our recent collaborations of Peloton chemistry. However, the pandemic last year really have pushed Matt to consider theory and computational researches, which is more suitable for a remote setup. And he ended up joining my research lab as an undergraduate researcher. And over the past years, Matt and I had a lot of fun discussing research projects, performing those direct and fancy quantum dynamic simulations to investigate charge transfer reaction across the semiconductor interfaces. I know COVID is nobody's favorite thing, but if I have to thank it, I think at least it will push Matt to switch from an experimental researcher into a theoretical and computational chemical researcher. So I have to say that. So Matt, on behalf of my research group, we're really proud of your accomplishments, and we have no doubt that will be really successful in future, and we're gonna miss you definitely.
Justine Drapeau, who's graduating with highest distinction in cum laude.
Hi, good afternoon. I met Justine when she was a junior, and she came to ask to do her senior thesis research in my lab. And we made these fantastic plans for her to come after spring break of 2020 to start in the lab. And so that didn't work out. And we adapted and decided to focus our efforts starting that summer on writing a review article describing how alkynes attack various electrophiles to make unusual ring systems. And Justine, I think, read 80 or 100 papers over the course of the summer and this academic year, and composed many chem draws summarizing these 80 to 100 papers. And we met weekly on Zoom to talk about the concepts, and really it was kind of a great experience. It's not something I'd ever done before. And so now we're in the final stages of preparing this paper, which was also Justine's thesis. So I'm very proud of our accomplishments with that. Justine is going to go on to do her PhD studies at the University of North Carolina in fall, and I know she'll do great. Congratulations.
Dalton Hanaway, who's graduating with highest distinction and magna cum laude.
So I've gotten to know Dalton over the past year as a member of my research group and a student in my advanced organic chemistry graduate class. So Dalton is a modern Renaissance man and has excelled in every way. For his senior thesis, he's been doing some experimental work on the design and synthesis of a class of ligands that can alter the reactivity of a transition metal catalyst by inducing a local electric field. He's a natural in the lab and has also started doing some computational work to support his experimental studies. Outside the lab, Dalton is an avid rock climber and adventurer. He's taught himself to code for fun and recently used these skills to start a new business. So Dalton will be sticking around Rochester for another year to complete his master's degree in chemistry before moving on to graduate school and bigger and better things. So I have the pleasure of working with him for another year. So Dalton, congratulations on this milestone, and I look forward to continuing our collaboration.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, stay out of it. Jade Johnson, graduating with distinction.
So I'm honored to present Jade Johnson. I've known Jade for several years now. Jade, I first met in organic chemistry that she took from me, and she excelled. She was then chosen as one of our workshop leaders in the subsequent year, where her talents were put to good use, and she was a very popular and effective workshop leader. At the same time, luckily, Jade began doing research in my group in the summer of 2019 as a McNair Fellow. That gave her enough time to get a lot of rheology done. Her research project was focused on looking at gelation conditions of amino acid derivatives, and she spent hours and hours locked in Gergen Hall in the tiny little room that houses the rheometer, checking how stiff these gels were. She accomplished enough work that she was a contributing co-author on a paper that was then published in 2020. So she did an outstanding job, and then switched some focus and was making peptides and things through this last year. Jade plans to apply to graduate school in the fall, and I am confident in her future success. Congratulations, Jade.
Noelle Peluso, who's graduating with highest distinction and cum laude. Her degree is presented by Cara Bren, who's virtuals.
Congratulations, Noelle. I was so lucky to have Noelle work in my lab for 2 years. She first did independent study in her senior thesis project. Noelle developed biomolecular systems for artificial photosynthesis, and she discovered a lot of really interesting reactivity that we are going to be continuing to study in years going forward. Noelle, I know you're going to be very successful in whatever you do next, and we hope that you keep in touch. You definitely are going to be on papers in the future, and we look forward to working with you on those.
Alphonse Pineda Nausader, who's participating virtually, and his degree is presented by Rudy Fasson, who will also be joining us virtually.
So it is my great pleasure to present Alphonse with this diploma. Alphonse carried out my research in my group for 2.5 years, including this senior research project, which was able to resume in fall 2020 after the shutdown. And he joined my lab in the second semester of sophomore year, immediately after transferring from to U of R from Miami-Dade College. So I was not scared of the weather, and I was very happy to take him in a group where he did an outstanding job. He worked on the development of new biocatalytic methods for what we call a biological chemistry. So there are reactions that are useful for organic chemistry, but for which there are no enzymes in nature, like olefin cyclopropionation. And in particular, he looked at and developed protocol for applying this enzymatic reaction in organic solvent and other conditions that are relevant and of interest to the pharmaceutical industry, particularly for the stereoselective synthesis of drugs and for sustainable chemical manufacturing. So did an excellent job in this project and a number of other projects he was involved in these years, which also resulted in a publication. And his contribution were significant to the point that he was the first author in this paper, which is a major achievement and I should say quite a rare one for students at this stage of their career. And what's remarkable about him is that he was not only great in performing experimental work, but he was able to give important intellectual contribution to all this project by carefully looking and reading and analyzing the literature and coming up with his own ideas and suggestions what to do next in the project. So that's really the quality and the skills we would like to see our students to develop by the time they graduate. So Alphonse will move on to do graduate studies at the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, where I'm sure will continue to be very successful. Congratulations again, Alphonse. Virtual handshake.
Jacob Schmidt, who's graduating with highest distinction and magna cum laude. His degree is presented by Ellen Matson, who's participating virtually.
So I had the pleasure of getting to know Jacob over the past 4 years in his capacity as president for the Undergraduate Chemistry Council. And then to boot, I got to have him in my graduate level organometallics course this fall. Jacob just personifies excellence. He did an excellent job leading our undergraduate organization. He took us through amazing outreach initiatives and really pushed the boundaries of what the club did. And he also just was really awesome, one of the top performers in Chem 421. Jacob's going to go on to do a PhD in marine sciences at the University of California, Santa Barbara. And Jacob, I wish you the best of luck and congratulations on this accomplishment.
Okay, congratulations to all award and degree recipients, their families, and guests on behalf of the entire staff and faculty of the Department of Chemistry at the University of Rochester. We also, do you want to? Oops, okay. Not everything is smooth, but it's COVID's fault. It's not my fault. We also want to thank Ria Tafani, who's been our fantastic photographer for years, and we're glad to have her back to help us this year. And in particular, I want to thank Debbie Contestable and her assistant Al, who really put together. Deb is responsible for everything we've been able to enjoy today, and really just has been working really hard to make this come together. So we really appreciate it, Deb. Thank you. And lastly, I'd like to thank Sean Kinney, who's managed all the tech side of this, which is particularly challenging this year, of course. Thank you, Sean.
All right, that concludes the ceremony. One final word, though. If graduates, if you want a photo of yourself, we're just gonna stick around. And so you can take a photo by yourself, you know, socially distanced without your mask on. If you want to, people want, you know, want to show people what you look like with a diploma and a mask, maskless. Okay. If you want to take group photos, got to have the mask on. Okay. Other than that, let's congratulate the graduates one more time. Thanks, everybody.